I think a lot of people are using our alpha and our software that's deploying things, not using agents, dropping token reduction, all of this good jazz, who really deeply understand what we're building, how to build it, my research papers. And a lot of my videos have been kind of around that idea, assuming a certain level of knowledge. So I wanted to make one that kind of describes our thesis, right? What I think why we're building what we're building should last, what those ideas are, and also goes into kind of showing you that, what I think is going to work and why it works with us. I'm seeing a lot of companies dive into this kind of process, right? They have some sort of UI. They have some way that the AI is accessing a catalog, right? They're going through and they're deciding where to find information, what it is. And then there's request slips inside of that catalog. They're asking for API calls to databases, or they're pulling a tool from somewhere or something along those lines. And it all rests on the stacks of important context of data. But at the end of the day, you don't need hundreds of agents. You need the organization of the library and one good librarian, right? That's my whole argument. We don't need a bunch of agents. You need a good library that one agent can walk through and bring you what you need, right? One good librarian. Now, if we think about the library as a whole, the card catalog, the place where how to talk about data, the high signal statements. I'm not telling you about the entire book. I'm giving you a summary of it. I'm giving you a section to go visit a book and pull it off. I'm telling you what type of data needs to be in there, right? And that's what people are doing with all of these different, ICM packages and things like that, right? Like if I was to pull up right now in front of you, some sort of package, right? I have a company that I'm working with and I'm organizing their data and what they do. I should be able to wander through it. I should be able to understand their policies, see where their teams are, give descriptions on their jobs. And right now people are just doing it with Markdown. Maybe it references a tool. Other people are showing the same thing in a giant Obsidian graph and saying, wow, look at all of this. But at the end of the day, Obsidian is just a description, a visual UI of folders and files, right? And so my argument then is interpretable context methodology. My paper had dove into the formalities of it, right? Think about standardizing networking, standardizing internet, standardizing data control. I was just following the standards we had already created and applying them to this future of data management and understanding that language models, machine learning models are now being used at scale. When things are being used at scale, you need to standardize them. When you have standardizations, you can use them at scale it better and ignore a lot of problems that you find in software when you build it all in one place and one style, right? You just kind of can create the structure in which other people can build inside of, right? That's realistically just the catalog. At the end of the day, most people that are building these second brains, these big Jarvis databases, they're just a bunch of numbered folders carrying sequences, hierarchies, markdown processes, and states. It's just your voice, your positions, your decisions, what projects are being done, maybe some tool calls inside of it, but usually they're just descriptions of tools that the AI is then calling, right? The AI, the librarian, the model wandering through it is deciding how, when, and where to act based on the information it's pulling into its context window. And a lot of these second brains are just a really efficient way to catalog what information should be going into them. And so our idea was, well, hold on a second. Let's build a software to build this out, right? Let's take these crazy folders and files that we've been looking at, right? Something like this. What if I could zip this up and share this with someone? Because right now, people are taking this and putting it into Notion. They're taking it and putting it in GitHub repos, or they're using SharePoint. And that's great. Like, you can get use out of it, but there's still a control layer missing. There's still a collaboration layer, right? The true multiplayer AI. I'm still stuck inside of one chat with myself. A lot of the times it's easier to use locally, and that ease of use is important. That should be a feature. It should be easy to use. And so our idea was to build something called Workbenches. And the idea here is if you come into our app, right, and you were to go in and you upload one of your ICM templates. Again, think of this as Second Brain. Replace ICM templates with Second Brain or Context Package or LLM Wiki. I should be able to just come in, upload that zip, right? We'll pick a random one here. Let's do Let's do maybe something like, I don't know, I can't remember one that I've been working on recently that I've zipped. Here we go. This could be one, right? And this is just one of my things. I should just be able to upload it. And when I upload it, anyone else should be able to upload their own if we're in a single organization or doing our own things. And I should be able to look and understand, okay, cool. That's my template. That's my thing that I want other people to use, that I've been using, that has my information. And so I have all of my templates uploaded. These are stored there. They're stated. Nothing I do is going to ruin that initial state. That initial upload is version 1. It's not going anywhere. So if I go in and let's say I had, the one where I was working with this one company, I have all the information on it, what we're doing, what we're building, I can build a workbench. Now, when I start a new workbench, it's copying and building out that layer, that thing, that stuff that we actually had, right? It's just deploying it somewhere so that I can then have an environment to work inside of. When I go inside of the workbench, I can now start chats against it. In the same way that I would in VS Code or inside of Claude, I can open up a whole bunch of chats and start working against one big folder base, right? So why not be able to do that on the cloud, be able to do that somewhere else? And so that's exactly what it is, right? And the best part is it doesn't have to just be me. Anyone who is inside of my organization should be allowed to see it and activate it. And this actually isn't me. This is one of my front-end developers, Kay. He comes in and is just able to say, hey, what's going on in here? And he can see and have access to everything. We can go through and look at templates. We can open up HTML files and see them and have them rendered. We can download it. We can export the whole thing. But we can also edit this. We can have an agent go in and rip through it. Again, one good agent can solve all of the problems because as we're asking it questions, it becomes the agent it needs. All of the information is routed with markdown files and processes and areas. And so as soon as he asked about it, he was able to dive and get onboarded immediately. He was not working with this client. He didn't have any of the information. He'd have to search for a while, download objects, use all these things. But in this case, boom, it's able to figure out everything we're talking about, how we're building stuff in. And guess what? I can jump right in and say, hey, by the way, I'm in this chat right now. And it goes immediately, knows who I am, right? I didn't say who I was. It's built into my profile, my chat, my environment. So we can quickly collaborate inside of the same place with the same ideas. Still makes all the good old tool calls, bash commands, everything that you would like out of Claude Code, but all in one area, right? And that is a powerful feature. So the workbench, you can open up that, you can open up multiple chats. But the next step, right, in what we're seeing is something we're going to call an atlas. Now, technically, what I just showed you there would be something like an atlas. It's a company's logic, where the data is, guaranteed facts that aren't going to be edited a lot. And maybe it connects to OKF, maybe it connects to an external API. That is what we're building out in there. You can already use it in a similar way to an atlas. A workbench can act as an atlas as long as you're not editing it. But sometimes you just want to be able to access it. Maybe you're inside of another workbench and want to access a different ICM, a different company brain, and be able to connect them together. Well, inside of a workbench, you should be able to access other atlases, right? These could be other people's second brains, more condensed version second brains that you don't always want or need access to. Perhaps you can't have access to certain parts of it, but you need information from it, and there's anonymization there. Well, this is exactly what we're building inside of this as well, and this is for, that kind of collaboration process. If each of these can be chats and movements, it's organizing itself. You don't have to keep track of it, but you can dive into it. It's just folders and files, good file management, but you don't necessarily need to navigate the files unless you want to, unless you need to. Just a simple question can bring all of the folders and files to you, can make the tool calls, can build the things inside of it. Technically, you don't even really need an operating system because this is operating as one in many ways. The other thing, right? Architecture is worthless without people who can build it out, who can use it, who can do things, who understand opinions and concepts, right? Their folders are useful, right? They can work well, but bigger companies need a little bit more scale. They can't just copy zips to everyone's computers. And then on top of that, maybe you need a little bit more governance. You need a little bit more compliance and monitoring. That's another reason why we wanted to build all of this. It becomes multi-user, right? In our alpha tests right now, people are able to upload their own ICMs. And you see, this allows the freedom of people to develop and create and do these second brains and things with the scalability of a good deployment system, right? This person being able to build out their marketing ICM. So someone else posted this, a marketing operating system that they built, right? And someone else can come in and start a mini copy of it and ask questions. So he was able to come in, ask about these things that want to be built. It's able to actually work through and understand based on someone else's thought processes and workflow, which again are just markdown files, just simple processes, maybe a couple Python scripts here or there that need to be used, maybe some simple bash commands or things like that. And it allows them to then chat and work and build out with this process, this idea, this concept, right? And that allows anyone to then work into it. And I can come in and say, oh, I was looking at this. Let's build this out together. The folder structure, the Unix philosophy. Can we separate this and make it simple to deploy? Because each of these templates are essentially a deployed software, a small one, a package solving a certain problem, a second brain, right? But that is the simplicity, is the usefulness. I'm getting massive use out of it on my local computer, and now I can get my team to work with it, my team to build things out and use it, right? That is the power of it. And now other people could build their own organizations. So I just wanted to explain this video today and kind of dive into all of this because I felt like it was important to describe the why, the understanding of where we're trying to get. Ask any comments below. If you want to learn more about these systems and building ICMs and all of this stuff, go check out the community. We'll be posting a lot more, working a lot more. We're here for a good time and a long time, hopefully. So yeah, please ask some questions below. I'm here. Much love. And as always, happy learning.